Ready to dominate Weekend League? Head on over to MaddenTurf.com for all the ebooks, tips, memberships, everything you need to start heading on that road to top 100. As always, use code CC for 10% off, and I'll see you guys on the sticks. Hey, what is going on, Madden family? We got a breakdown of abilities today. New ones, especially. That is what we're going to be focused on. So we're going to be reading the Gridiron notes today here. Going through it, essentially it starts talking about how they wanted to add new abilities, and they're going to go over that. So one of the new things that we're talking about today is pass rush here. Okay, because of what they changed with pass rush, where now people have bars, right? The pass rushers have bars and the blockers have bars. So it's like up to 5 bars, right? So because of that, they changed things around. So reading here, they said they completely reworked the user defensive line play with a brand new system, and this area accounts for the largest collection of new abilities. The abilities revolve around improving your effectiveness with specific moves. So that involves having specific abilities for blockers against power moves, finesse moves, and then obviously pass rushers with power move, finesse moves as well. We see some other stuff here. One of the new abilities was El Toro. Said defenders with this ability will receive dominant bull rush wins and their pass rush points are full. So that's an example there of how that's going to work. It's obviously with the user, and I assume obviously the computer is going to do that as well. So there's going to be more of a game involved with this. So if people have potentially offensive line abilities, it could be a thing, and someone has a left tackle which guards well against, say, power moves, you're going to want to move your power move rusher to the opposite side, right? So there's going to be more of a chess game involved rather than just ratings. If abilities are going to be a thing on the offensive line, which they weren't really this year, it'll definitely change up the way that things work. So we see here, we get into the blocking, where they said that they couldn't give defensive 10 new rushing abilities without having counters to them. So they're at least admitting that we need counters to these things. Things here like post up, blockers with this ability are guaranteed to win any double team, and they also have what's called screen protector on the screen as well. Blockers with this ability will dominantly win impact blocks on screen plays. So I imagine it's kind of like Nasty Streak but on screens, something like that, right? Additionally here they show Rodney Hudson here with Matador, and blockers with this ability have stronger protection against dominant bull rush moves. So again, that's the direct counter to El Toro, right? Now, I don't know about wasting abilities on offensive linemen, but they put a bunch in there. They put a bunch in there. Additionally, stamina and fatigue. This is an area they continue to look to improve upon, and one way is to introduce abilities that take advantage of existing stamina and fatigue systems. There's abilities that will help you regain stamina during a play, like the new Energizer ability. Energizer is not new. That's funny. This allows you to replenish all your spent stamina following a successful skill move. So it's sort of like that relentless X factor we talked about there, at least, where these players are going to be able to get more moves, have stuff like that. You'll also see defensive abilities that punish their target's fatigue level, such as the new bench press ability. This causes successful man coverage press attempts, tire out the receiver, reducing their performance and bringing them closer to being benched. So these abilities here, they talk about how we are going to potentially, and this is something that is totally new, ways to force players off the field, right? When players get tired in the game, especially receivers, offensive players, they're way less effective, they're slower and all that. This seems to be giving us a way to force that a little bit. Now, I don't really know if using abilities on corners hasn't been a huge thing, but maybe it is, right? So they showed that, and then they show Energizer here. Ball carriers will replenish a portion of their stamina. Again, Energizer is not new whatsoever. Here we're talking about new X factors. We've seen that Relentless, Blitz, Avalanche, which came out, and I don't know if you guys have seen or heard about what Avalanche is, but essentially it's guaranteed fumbles when someone is running towards the line of scrimmage. It only takes like 3 hit sticks to get it, so that'll be interesting. I imagine that number will be higher, but 3 seems pretty low to force guaranteed fumbles, right? So talk about new X factors here. Relentless, Avalanche right here. and they have reinforcement, which is not new. I don't know why they would put that screen in there. It's not new. Then they talk about balance here. Anyone who follows grid inerts knows balance is very important to us, which is one thing that they really needed to do. So in route running, they had a lot of route specialist abilities, which covered a wide variety of things. What's being changed here is the distance and location on these things. So instead of having post flag elite, right, you may have like deep post elite or deep or in post elite or something like that, right? So they're going to be changing that, so you can't just honestly exploit and just put all these things on here. So to get the benefits, you either need a specialized route as a hot route, or you had to comb the playbook looking for plays that use specific plays. Man 21 seeking to change the abilities by granting their bonuses based on where the pass is being caught on the field rather than the route you are running. The field is split into a few zones based on distance and line of scrimmage. So again, short out, deep out, etc. So it's really about this. So if we read the Tyreek Hill little screen cap here, short out elite, receivers catch more consistent while catching passes less than 10 yards from the line of scrimmage outside the numbers, right? So we get outside the numbers and between the numbers, right? And then a difference of distances here. Mid out elite on Julio Jones. Receivers with this ability catch consistently patches 10 to 20 yards from the line of scrimmage. Same thing, he's got deep out, 20 plus yards, right? So depending on how you scheme your offense is which of these abilities you're really going to need to use now based on a distance, right? And the location of the route. So a little more thought has to go into selecting your abilities. Like we got short in elite, mid in elite on DeAndre Hopkins, and then Michael Thomas as wide receiver apprentice, so we can get the additional hot routes. Additionally, defensive coverage stuff got changed, where we just had manned up, zoned out, and universal coverage. EA felt like those were overpowering or too easy. I don't know. I don't feel like those things did a lot. But now they're doing a similar idea on defense, right? If the receivers have short in, deep out, etc., defenders are going to have that as well. So see Tre'Davious White here with deep out zone KO. Defenders force more catch knockouts, react quicker in deep zone coverage, 20 plus yards from the line of scrimmage and outside the hash marks. So you're going to have these things for zone and for man. So you're going to have defenders who defend certain parts of the field better with man, certain parts better with zone, etc. It's definitely a big difference, right? Stephon Gilmore has flat zone KO. So if you're playing, a cover two, right? You flat zone KO may be something you want to put on your corners there, especially if they're only going to be guarding up to 10 yards. So that's just a slight difference there. I also changed how pass leading is going to be working with this. Pass lead last year was pretty broken. It was pretty broken, the pass lead elite one. But pass lead elite this year is increased throw power on bullet precision passing. So it's like a sort of gunslinger there, essentially. We also have differences for avoiding of pressure here for us. So we're going to do that. I don't really know a lot about how that's going to work. They don't really have anything in here. I guess just fearless. Passers are immune to penalties caused by defensive pressure. And they also talk about some other stuff in here. There were powerful abilities last year, which sort of contributed to some overpowering gameplay. Fast break was one of them, and now limits the quarterback to more restricted angles after the snap. They can't just like cut up field and not fumble. Escape artist now only provides the benefits of the user is close to full stamina. This will prevent undesirable situations where we can continually stop and start behind the line of scrimmage. I don't know if I like that at all. Additionally here, dashing and no look deadeye. These abilities, again, slightly overpowered, where they would always execute perfect passes, especially deep. Now there is a yardage threshold that you can throw it on, so you can't do a 75-yard rollout corner or something like that. And then they talk about here, it wouldn't be fair to tone down powerful abilities without improving the weaker ones. So again, they are adding more to this. So pro reads was kind of useless. But now it also has added that if you have it and you're active in it, You get no pressure penalties. Gambler wasn't valuable to a large percentage of players, and now has the ability of an increased throw speed and power when you're in the zone, which I mean, I think Gambler is probably the way I would want to go. Blitz radar now shows players before and after the snap, right? They also removed abilities. We just didn't add stuff. They did remove stuff as well. So the things they removed were essentially the run guru abilities for blocking on stretch, outside zone, inside zone. They may try to add some certain stuff at this point, but again, it's something like this, which is an intentional look to try and balance the game back out, especially for how things work. So here's just a list of the new X Factor abilities. Again, these are X Factors, not abilities, right? So Ankle Breaker, Avalanche, Blitz, Bottleneck, Grab and Smash, which they haven't really talked about yet. Relentless, Universal Coverage is now an X Factor, not an ability, right? Vanguard and Yak 'em Up, and they also have a bunch of new superstar abilities. Adrenaline Rush, pass rushers with this ability will have all of their pass rush points restored after sacking the quarterback. BOGO, defenders with this ability are granted a free pass move once a play after spending a pass rush point. Balance Beam, it's like Never Stumble. Bench Press is helping with pressing and fatigue. Chuck Out, again, it's about zone chucks. So if you press in those cover 2s or cover 3s, they're going to slow the receiver down there. Closer is about getting into the zone in the second half. Comeback, when playing from behind, players can get in the zone better. Deep, all these other ones we talked about. Defensive Rally, defenders get a bonus point on 3rd and 4th down, which is good. Double or nothing. Pass rushers must spend double the pass rush points before we move. El Toro we talked about. Energizer we've talked about. Extra credit we've talked about. Some of these other ones, these offensive line ones, we're just gonna have to test them. Who knows how these are really gonna work? And there's a lot of this stuff with these pass rush points, right? Mr. Big Stop is one that caught my eye, where defenders will start with half of their maximum pass rush points on 3rd and 4th down. So they're always going to have a chance to be effective on those key situations right there. One step ahead defenders guard man coverage better, outmatched. Defenders are likely to win contested catches against running backs. Okay. Reach for it was a big thing that we talked about earlier in the year, where they're going to try to gain extra yards while being tackled again, try to go for those first down markers, end zone markers, etc. Defenders, let's find a couple of, there's just a lot of them in here. There's a lot. There's so many new ones, and a lot of them are just with blocking and stuff. Stonewall defenders will frequently prevent additional yardage gains while tackling. Again, that's the counter right there to reach for it. So that might be good to have on. Tight out passers with this ability will improve the catching prowess of all tight ends. That's something Lamar Jackson had in the beta there. And unspun, unpredictable, lots of stuff. They talk about the next Gridiron Notes will be Tuesday, August 18th, and we'll focus on Mutt. There's a lot of information here. I'm going to put the link to this down below if you guys want to go take a deeper look. All the new abilities. It's cool information. It's good to know, but we don't, until we play, we don't know which ones are going to be overpowered, what's going to be the move, etc. But they did not, they didn't remove Enforcer, so I still feel like it's going to be the move. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.